Hello guys, and welcome to another video tutorial on PHP. And first of all, in this video I want to tell you that we are going to start to learn object-oriented programming, or as it says right here, OOP. Okay, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys already heard about this object thing, or these initials, OOP. Okay, so OOP stands for object-oriented programming. This is a way to organize your code better. Okay, so this basically helps you to organize a bunch of code that you have of a website or an application. And is used not only in PHP but in a lot of other languages. Okay, so object-oriented programming basically is used a lot in big companies, okay, that have a lot of code to reuse or to organize, and have a lot of programmers at the same time using a framework. And if you don't know what a framework is, you will I'm gonna make another tutorial about frameworks, okay, later on. And basically just think of OOP as a way to organize better your code. Okay, simple as that. But if you want to read this whole page, you'll have a pretty clearer, and you will go deeper into understanding what OOP really is, okay, and how do we use it, or how we can use it to better take our code or our functions to another level. Okay, so let's go to Notepad. Let's open Notepad here. So in the videos that we did already in our about our CRUD test site, we have a lot of scripts, right, and a lot of files. So we are writing basically raw PHP code. Okay, so we start at here at the first line, and we write whatever code, PHP code we want, mixed sometimes with HTML as well, and basically we call this raw PHP code. Okay, maybe we didn't do a lot of functions, okay, but you know what functions are. I could use some functions in here as well to better organize the code, but we didn't do a lot of that either. But it still works. You can use raw PHP whenever you have to do an application or a project or a website. And probably if you do a simple website or a simple application, raw PHP is better for you to learn, or for you to find something or organize, because it's less code, right? And you have by the names for each PHP file, you can find basically where the problem is, or where the function that you are searching for is, or the script that processes some form is, okay? And you remember by the name of the file itself, right? So for example, we have login.php. If I was searching for the script that processes the login, I would go directly to login.php, because probably this is where the script is. Or the form is in here because I named it form. Or for example, edit, the script that edits and updates the user, it's here, and delete it's here. Okay, so it's pretty much self-explain how we can search for that if we use raw PHP code. Now, if we are building a big application like, for example, Facebook, so if we are building a very big application, and probably we are not the only ones to use that to create the code for that application. Okay, so we have a team working together to build some website or application. It's a lot better to have a framework of object-oriented programming that we can use to work. Okay, and what this means is, for you to have a better idea, I'm going to write here. Okay, what this means is that we will have, for example, let's say we'll talk about classes. Okay, and what a class is, basically, let's call this class login. Okay, and inside class login, for example, I'm going to put in here all variables and functions that takes care of the login process. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is creating a class, and you can think of a class as a function, for example. Okay, but inside the class we can type functions and variables here. Okay, and so when I call this class login, I call this login because I know that inside it I'm going to put all variables and functions that processes a login. Okay, a login form, for example. So, for example, this is class login. Then in here I can type class register, for example. Okay, and then inside it I would type all the variables and functions about who process a register form, for example. Okay, so then what I can do is to call those classes or call those functions or variables every time I want to. Okay, because I know where they are. Okay, so basically it's we are creating groups. Okay, and each group is identifiable by his own variables or functions related to that name. Okay, or to that process name. Okay, so if I do a class login, you can type here variables and functions about the register, but it doesn't make any sense, right? Because then you will have you have to find variables and functions about login, and they are not there. They are in the register. Okay, so you have to organize yourself. Okay, when you are coding. So, for example, if we had a lot of team members, okay, and each team member dedicates himself to a different class, and don't get me wrong, a class can be thousands of lines of code. Okay, this class login, I can make here a lot of variables, functions, returned functions with parameters. I can build a lot of stuff and code a lot of stuff inside class login. Okay, what it does is that, for example, Peter, let's say Peter, you are going to define or create the class login. And that class, I want you to define variables about this, about that, about the name, the username, the whatever, okay? Now, John, okay, the programmer John is going to dedicate himself to register, okay? So he has to, you know, and each programmer has to know what the hell is he writing and creating, and the values that is going to return, okay, inside class login. So when we are in register, or maybe, I don't know, let's create, for example, a class. This is login and register. Let's create class output, okay, and in here, class output, I can call variables and functions from login class or from the class register, and I can say if login is correct or is true. I'm sorry. If register is true, go to class register or call the function whatever in from the register class. Okay, so now you're seeing that basically what OOP is object-oriented. Objects normally they are relating that name object to the class. Okay, so each class is basically an object. So we have object login, object register, and we can have maybe, I don't know, maybe Facebook has 1,000 or sorry, 100 or 200 classes, or maybe more. Okay, so it's pretty much a good decision to work with classes and object-oriented programming when you have a big project, okay, or a project or a website that has a lot of functionalities. Okay, guys, so that's it. This is the introduction to OOP, and now you have a little bit a pretty simple idea how OOP works. Okay. So I'm not telling you that you have to learn OOP. There are a lot of freelancers and a lot of PHP programmers that don't use OOP. Okay, you can still use the raw PHP code. Okay, normal that we did until now. But if your idea is to create or to go into a company, okay, and work into a company of programmers or engineers, I advise you to learn as soon as possible OOP, okay? And then you will use OOP when you learn another programming language. You will use OOP basically as we did in PHP. The principles, okay, and the idea of OOP, it's and the syntax, it's pretty much the same either in PHP or in Java or in some other programming languages. Okay, so even if you learn another programming language, you'll be very familiar to the OOP style of coding. Okay, so that's it, and see you guys on the next video. Bye.